So here is Mike Nowak.
And now to a man who's not afraid to tell you what you need to do to keep the planet he lives on clean.
Take your food scraps out to your compost pile. Screw in a compact fluorescent light bulb. Turn on a window fan instead of an air conditioner. Low flow, baby. Shower heads and toilets. Take one napkin at Starbucks instead of 6.
Mike Nowak.
Welcome to another installment of the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Environmental Report. I'm Mike Nowak, and you can hear me live each Sunday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Central Time on Q4 Radio, which streams at q4.org and on the Q4 Radio Facebook page. You can also get my podcasts at MikeNowak.net, MikeNowak.net. Today, another mishmash of environmental stories that have crossed my laptop. I would say desk, but I don't actually use it much. We go from the good to the bad to the puzzling. Here's the good news. Quote, we are excited to announce that we have broken the 35-year annual record for sea turtle nests along our area's beaches, with a total of 2,638 confirmed nests so far, and we are only halfway through the nesting season, Kristen Mazzarella, senior biologist with Moats Sea Turtle Conservation and Research Program in Florida, said in a story reported in EcoWatch. And if you can't root for baby sea turtles making it to the ocean, you're probably the kind of person who kicks puppies too, but I digress. You can probably figure out that sea turtles are an endangered species because of things like coastal development, egg poaching, and pollution. And speaking of egg poaching, like the guy from Florida who was caught stealing 107 eggs from a loggerhead turtle while she was laying them. Nice. Of course, the sea turtles might be doing better simply because Florida is disappearing beneath the rising water caused by our melting polar ice caps. Win some, lose some. Personally, I'm rooting for the sea turtles. Then there's the bad. The Huffington Post reports that, quote, 8,181 is a lot of cups. It's the number of paper coffee cups that Starbucks serves every minute, every day of the year. The vast majority of those cups are thrown in the trash. End quote. Well, I already knew that. I bring my reusable cup to my local Starbucks. Please don't hate me for liking their coffee. And I've been told that the number of folks who follow my lead is about 2 out of 100. That's 2%, if you're keeping track. So a group at bettercup.earth is calling out the coffee giant. They write, quote, in 2008, Starbucks promised that by 2015, it would use only 100% recycled and recyclable cups and serve 25% of its drinks in reusable mugs. But today, forests around the world are still destroyed to make Starbucks cups. That's 1.5 million trees every year used once and tossed in the garbage. End quote. Part of the problem, as I have complained on my own radio show, is that their 10-cent discount for bringing your own cup isn't much of an incentive to get people to change their behavior. So, if you care about trees and the incredible amount of waste produced by the simple act of drinking a cup of coffee, I suggest that you go to bettercup.earth and sign a petition to get Starbucks to be better stewards of the planet. Or you could just complain to the manager. They want people to believe that they're the good guys, but the word greenwashing is starting to bounce around the inside of my head. Finally, the story that makes you scratch your head because it's a difficult issue to solve. You've undoubtedly heard of the phrase planned obsolescence. It's the reason you buy a new smartphone every 2.7 years. Here's the problem. We invented LED bulbs to replace incandescents as a way to get more efficiency and life out of our lighting. The average incandescent bulb was built to last 1,000 hours, and that's by design. They used to last much longer, way back at the beginning of the 20th century, until manufacturers realized that if people didn't come back to buy more, they would go out of business. So, Here we are in the 21st century, monkeying around with the lifespan of that product almost 100 years after we decided that it shouldn't last very long. LEDs are advertised to last 25,000 hours, which is great for the consumer, but not so much for the manufacturer. In fact, a story in The New Yorker called "The LED Quandary: Why There's No Such Thing as Built to Last" reports that something called socket saturation, the point at which enough incandescent bulbs have been replaced by LED bulbs that light bulb sales as a whole begin to decline, will happen in 2019. Part of the solution, and I'm using air quotes, is for some companies to make cheaper LEDs that last a fraction of the time that they do now. Yikes! Isn't that what we were getting away from? And what about sustainability and reducing the stuff going into our landfills? That's why the story is in the puzzling category. There seems to be no simple solution to this quandary. You know, suddenly I have a headache. Thank goodness I'm finished for today. I hope you catch the Mike Nowak Show on Q4 Radio, www.QUE4.org, which you can always link to at my website, MikeNovak.net. Go green or go home. Anybody got an aspirin?